last night, I was like, okay, let's make a video. I had my Audacity program running, and I hit record, but then I forgot to hit record on Slobs. So for an hour and 40 minutes, 2 videos worth, I was playing the game without recording any video. Hey guys, my name is KittyW25. Welcome to Ace Attorney. Wait, that's not the title. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney on the Switch. Okay, right. I keep forgetting. It goes right into it. There's no loading. Because it's all already loaded. Oh no. I can't get caught, not like this. I keep forgetting I'm supposed to be narrating this. I've got to find someone to pin this on. Look at that line work. Someone like him. I'll make it look like he did it. See, I don't want to destroy my voice, so I'm not going to make voices, because it's just a lot of work. Sorry, coffee is important. Hang on. Boy, am I nervous. Oh, hang on. I need to be nervous. Just because I'm not doing voices, I'm going to try and voice act it as properly as I can. Right. Oh, hiya, Chief. Oh, I'm glad I made it on time. Well, I have to say, Phoenix, I'm impressed. Not everyone takes on a murder trial right off the bat like this. There we go. It says a lot about you, and your client as well. Thanks. Actually, it's because I owe him a favor. A favor? You mean you knew the defendant before this case? I forgot to stretch my mouth. I'm slurring a bit. Yes. Actually, I kind of owe my current job to him. He's one of the reasons I became an attorney. Well, that's news to me. I want to help him out in any way I can. I really want to help him. I owe him that much. It's over! My life, everything, it's all over! Is that your client screaming over there? Yeah, it's him. Death! Despair! Ah! I'm gonna do it! I'm gonna die! It sounds like he wants to die. Yeah. Nick! Hey! Hey, oh wait, no, that's Phoenix. Hey there, Larry. Dude, I'm so guilty. Tell them I'm guilty. Give me the death sentence. I ain't afraid to die. What? What's wrong, Larry? Oh, it's all over. I'm finished. Finished! I can't live in a world without her. I can't. Who took her away from me, Nick? Who did this? Oh, Nick, you gotta tell me. Who took my baby away? The person responsible for your girlfriend's death? The newspapers say it was you. My name is Phoenix Wright. Here's the story. My first case is a fairly simple one. A young woman was killed in her apartment. The guy they arrested was the unlucky sap dating her. Larry Butts, my best friend since grade school. Our school had a saying, when something smells, it's usually the butts. In the 23 years I've known him, it's usually been true. He has a knack for getting himself in trouble. One thing I can say though, it's usually not his fault. He just has terrible luck. But I know better than anyone that he's a good guy at heart. Not a nice guy. A good guy. There's a difference. That and I owe him one, which is why I took the case, to clear his name. And that's just what I'm going to do. Alright, I love this game because it's so ridiculous, it's so fun, and the mysteries are actually quite good. Like, the first 2 are quite simple. The first one is obviously really simple. It's the first half of the tutorial. The second half, the second case, the second episode is the second half of the tutorial, teaching the rest of the game mechanics, not just the court stuff. It's teaching the gathering evidence part of the game mechanics, and even though the second case is a little bit more extensive and a little bit more complex than the first case, it's still quite simple. By the time you reach the final case of the first game, the 5th case, holy crap. So many twists and turns, so many, like, problems come up. It's amazing. Hey, Drawza. Oh, my voice. Hey, Drawza, how's it going, dude? How's it going, dude? Did you read my Facebook post? Because that explained what happened, and that's why I'm playing this game instead of, playing something like Dead by Daylight or The Cycle or something. This is a completely different game. Completely different game that I'm playing because of my idiocy. I've gone up to the 5th case, the last case of the first game, and was going through a walkthrough on my DS Lite. I was going through a walkthrough because it was so complex. I was so confused to what I was supposed to do next. And then I think my DS Lite keypad died because of Lego Rock Band. That was such a great game. I really wish I can play Lego Rock Band again. August 3, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 2. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Larry Butts. Don't worry. That there is a, for those who haven't seen the game, there are a lot of puns with the names. A lot of puns with the names, okay? So you're gonna be like, oh, Larry Butts sounds like something else. Yeah, they're gonna do that, something else. Look, okay, I'll just spoil it. They make a Harry Butts joke, okay? Harry Butts. That sounds like hairy. Hairy Butts, okay? Okay, it's a pun. Let's move on. If I'm live, let's move on. Hi, Jenny, says Mark. Court is now in session for the oh, I've already read that, by the way. I'm a great... This is probably why my Let's Play channel never kicked off. True. No, don't leave me. You're the only person who's watching, Drawza. I'm getting so distracted all the time. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Okay. His voice is like, objection! So, if I were making voices, it would be, the prosecution is ready, Your Honor. But it hurts my voice if I continue to do that, and he has more than one line, so... The, defense is ready, Your Honor. Mr. Wright? Oh, what is my voice today? This is your first trial, is it not? Yes, Your Honor. I am a little nervous. Your conduct during this trial will decide the fate of your client. Murder is a serious charge. For your client's sake, I hope you can control your nerves. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, given the circumstances, I think we should have a test to ascertain your readiness. Yes, Your Honor. Hands shaking, eyesight fading. The test will consist of a few simple questions. Answer them clearly and concisely. Please state the name of the defendant in this case. So we have Larry Butts. There's no jokes. It's just the 3 characters that we really know the names of. The defendant. Well, that's Larry Butts, Your Honor. Correct. Just keep your wits about you and you'll do fine. Next question. This is a murder trial. Tell me, what's the victim's name? Oh, I know this one. Glad I read the case report cover to cover so many times. Aha, the game's telling you to press R. It's a game mechanic that you're gonna use for the whole game. Ah, it's... Wait. Oh. No. No way, I forgot. I'm drawing a total blank here. Phoenix, are you absolutely sure you're up to this? You don't even know the victim's name? Oh, the victim. Of course, I know the victim's name. I just forgot. Temporarily. I think I feel a migraine coming on. Look, the victim's name is listed in the court record. Just press the R button to check it at any time, okay? Remember to check it often. Do it for me, please. I'm begging you. Mr. Wright, who is the victim in this case? I already know. See, look, Cinder Block and Cindy Stone. They sound similar. It's a rock pun. The victim's name is Cindy Stone. Oh, you're back? You're finally back? Needed to do 2? You mean you took a shit? Is that what you're saying? You took a dump? Correct. Now tell me, what was the cause of death? She died because she was struck once by a blunt object. Correct. You've answered all my questions. I see no reason why we shouldn't proceed. I need to learn how to read. You seem much more relaxed, Mr. Wright. Good for you. Wait, no, I don't need to learn how to read. My brain, my eyes can perceive the words as it is. It's just when it's traveling down to my mouth, something gets lost in translation all the time. Thank you, Your Honor, because I don't feel relaxed, that's for sure. Well then. First, a question for the prosecution. Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. As Mr. Wright just told us, the victim was struck with a blunt object. Would you explain to the court just what that object was? Hang on, it's really hot. I'm turning the fan on. Seriously hot in here. Like, incredibly hot. The murder weapon was this statue of the Thinker. It was found lying on the floor next to the victim. I'm just gonna use my headset to pull my hair back off my forehead. Hairline check. I see. The court accepts it into evidence. Statue in the shape of the Thinker. It's rather heavy. Right. Be sure to pay attention to any evidence added during the trial. That evidence is the only ammunition you have in court. Use the R button to check the court record frequently. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its first witness. The prosecution calls the defendant, Mr. Butts, to the stand. Chief, what do I do now? Pay attention. You don't want to miss any information that might help your client's case. Have you played this, Drawser? You'll get your chance to respond to the prosecution later, so be ready. Let's just hope he doesn't say anything unfortunate. Uh-oh. Larry gets excited easily. This could be bad. Mr. Butts, is it not true that the victim had recently dumped you? Hey, watch it, buddy. We were great together. We were Romeo and Juliet, Cleopatra and Mark Antony. Didn't they all die? I wasn't dumped. She just wasn't taking my phone calls or seeing me. Emma, what's it to you anyway? Mr. Butts, what you describe is generally what we mean by dumped. In fact, she had completely abandoned you and was seeing other men. She had just returned from overseas with one of them the day before the murder. What do you mean, one of them? Lies, all of it lies. I don't believe a word of it. Your Honor, the victim's passport. According to this, she was in Paris until the day before she died. Victim apparently arrived home from Paris on July 30th, the day before the murder. This is an American localization. That's the word that I couldn't think of last night when I was not recording the video. Indeed, she appears to have returned the day before the murder. Dude, no way. The victim was a model, but did not have a large income. It appears that she had several sugar daddies. Daddies? Sugar? Yes, older men who gave her money and gifts. She took their money and used it to support her lifestyle. Dude! We can clearly see what kind of woman this Miss Stone was. Tell me, Mr. Butts, what do you think of her now? Right. I don't think you want him to answer that question. Yeah, Larry has a way of running his mouth in all the wrong directions. Should I... We tried to stop him from answering. It's too early in the game for these choices to actually matter. Later on in the game, you actually have to think about the choices. Otherwise, you lose. My client had no idea that the victim was seeing other men. That question is irrelevant to this case. Ooh. Dude, Nick, what do you mean irrelevant? That cheating she-dog. I'm gonna die. I'm just gonna drop dead. Yeah, and when I meet her in the afterlife, I'm going to get to the bottom of this. Let's continue with the trial, shall we? I believe the accused's motive is clear to everyone. Yes, quite. Oh boy, this is so not looking good. Next question. You went to the victim's apartment on the day of the murder, did you not? Well, did you? Or did you not? Well, maybe I did and maybe I didn't. Uh-oh, he went. What do I do? Have him answer honestly. I know. I'll send him a signal.
Tell the truth.
You can handle the truth. Yeah, I was there. I went.
He went on. Maybe he come.
Order. Well, Mr. Butts. Dude, chill. She wasn't home, man. So, like, I didn't see her. See, there's the voice. Ah, Jackson! Your Honor, the defendant is lying. Lying? The prosecution would like to call a witness who can prove Mr. Butts is lying. Well, that simplifies matters. Who is your witness? The man who found the victim's body. Just before making the gruesome discovery, he saw the defendant fleeing the scene of the crime.
Oh, we have a witness. Oh, this is getting exciting.
Order in the court. Mr. Payne, the prosecution may call its witness. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, this is bad. On the day of the murder, my witness was selling newspapers at the victim's building. Please bring Mr. Frank Sawit. And he's the killer. So there's gonna be an easy pun coming up at the end of this case. Mr. Sawit, you sell newspaper subscriptions, is this correct? Oh yes, newspapers, yes. Mr. Sawit, you may proceed with your testimony. Please tell the court what you saw on the day of the murder. And here's another gameplay mechanic. We're getting into it now. I was going door to door selling subscriptions when I saw a man fleeing an apartment. I thought he must be in a hurry because he left the door half open behind him. Thinking it strange, I looked inside the apartment. Then I saw her lying there, a woman, not moving.
Dead.
I quailed in fright and found myself unable to go inside. I thought to call the police immediately. However, the phone in her apartment wasn't working. I went to a nearby park and found a public phone. I remember the time exactly. It was 1 p.m. The man who ran was without a doubt the defendant sitting right over there. Larry, why didn't you tell the truth? I can't defend you against a testimony like that. Oh man. That testimony has so many holes already because it's such a it's a cookie cutter simple case. But later on you get 20 text boxes of witness testimonies, and you're like, which one do I choose? That I have like 17 pieces of evidence. I need to pick one of those pieces of evidence, put it into an exact text box, and then I can proceed with the story. There's so many combinations, but there's a limited number of chances. I can't defend against a testimony like that. Incidentally, why wasn't the phone in the victim's apartment working? Your Honor, at the time of the murder, there was a blackout in the building. Aren't phones supposed to work during a blackout? Yes, Your Honor. However, some cordless phones do not function normally. The phone that Mr. Sawit used was one of those. Your Honor, I have a record of the blackout for your perusal. Blackout record, electricity to Miss Stone's building was out from noon to 6 p.m. on the day of the crime. My hair. Now, Mr. Wright. Yes? Yes, Your Honor. You may begin your cross-examination. Cross-examination, Your Honor? Alright, Wright. This is it. The real deal. Alright, right. Every time. It's so annoying. What exactly am I supposed to do? You definitely did not learn about cross-examination during your law school, did you, Wright? Why, you exposed the lies in the testimony the witness just gave. Lies? What? He was lying? Your client is innocent, right? Then that witness must have lied in his testimony. Or is your client really guilty? How do I prove he's not? You hold the key. It's in the evidence. Compare the witness's testimony to the evidence at hand. There's bound to be a contradiction in there. First, find contradictions between the court record and the witness's testimony. Then, once you've found the contradicting evidence, present it and rub it in the witness's face. Okay. Open the court record with the R button, then point out contradictions in the testimony. Alright, here we go. We're finally into the game, like 20 minutes later. 20 minutes after starting it. Although, I have been on tangents a lot. Alright, we're going door to door. Alright, first off, you look through these things, right? So we have the badge. No one would believe I was a defense attorney if I didn't carry this. Time of death, 31st of July, 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. Cause of death, loss of blood due to blunt trauma. We've seen that one. The victim apparently 7:30. We've seen that one. I thought, but this is the obvious one, right? It's not, it's right at the end. Lying dead. I thought the police. I went to the apartment. Remember the time? It was 1 p.m. apparently when he saw him run out, right? But according to her autopsy report, it says she was dead at 4 to 5 p.m. So you present it to him. And you know it's right because the music stopped. If the music doesn't stop, you are a dum-dum. You made a boo-boo. You found the body at 1 p.m. You're sure? Yes, it was 1 p.m. for certain. Frankly, I find that hard to believe. And then the music starts. Heroic music starts. Your statement directly contradicts the autopsy report. The autopsy notes the time of death at sometime after 4 p.m. There was nobody to,
Body.
to find at 1 p.m. How do you explain this 3-hour gap? Yeah. That. This is trivial. The witness merely forgot the time. After his testimony, I find that hard to believe. Mr. Sawit, why were you so certain that you found the body at 1 p.m.? Gee, that's a really good question. Great job, Wright. Way to put him on the spot. That's all you have to do. Point out contradictions. Lies always beget more lies. See through one, and their whole story falls apart. Not at the end of the game. Their lies just go for lies that are backed up with evidence, but then you find out maybe the evidence are fake. Oh my goodness. It's so complicated. Wait, I remember now. Would you care to give your testimony again? The time of discovery. You see, when I found the body, I heard the time. There was a voice saying the time, and it was probably coming from the television. Oh, but it was 3 hours off, wasn't it? I guess the victim must have been watching a video of a tape program. That's why I thought it was 1 p.m. Terribly sorry about that misunderstanding. The judge, man, is just like, yes, I see. You heard a voice saying the time on a tape program, even though, like, 10 minutes ago, we were talking about the blackout. Mr. Wright, you may cross-examine the witness. Right, you know what to do. I've got this one. Such a huge contradiction. The game's just like, no, we don't need to beat it into the player. They already know. They already saw it coming. Hey, the time, voice, probably television. But the problem is, you gotta put it on the same, on the exact text box. So I'm gonna press to figure out which one. So when you press, you get more information. Sometimes the game actually says, oh yeah, add that more information to the actual testimony. So you can do that. A video. Yes, that would explain why the time was wrong. True. Right. I think the problem lies someplace else. We're agreed that you heard the time at the scene then. So it's not that one. There was a voice saying the time. It was probably coming from the television. I think it might be this one. Let's be double sure. Are you sure it was a television and not a radio? Well, no, I guess it might have been a radio. Incidentally, there was no radio on the premises. There was only one large television. Right. I can't put my finger on it, but something about this seems fishy. Something about hearing the television. The witness has testified. He heard the crime. I actually forgot what I did last night. Was it the television? I think it must be that one that I chose. So you present the blackout record. Okay, it was that one. Dude, my memory is so bad. Hold it right there. The prosecution has said there was a blackout at the time of the discovery. And this record proves it. You couldn't have heard the television or a video. Heroic music comes up again. Well, the defense has a point. My nose is really itchy. Do you have an explanation for this, Mr. Sawit? No, I find it quite puzzling myself. Quite. But wait, I remember now. Mr. Sawit, the court would prefer to hear an accurate testimony from the very beginning. These constant corrections are harming your credibility.
In the real world, it should have been gone already. He should be...
That, and you seem rather distraught. My apologies, Your Honor. It must have been the shock of finding the body. Very well, Mr. Sawyer. Let's hear your testimony once more, please. And the rule of threes? We're hearing 3 versions of the testimony. Hearing the time. Actually, I didn't hear the time. I saw it. There was a table clock in the apartment, wasn't there? Yeah, the murder weapon. The killer used it to hit the victim. That must have been what I saw.
You saw a clock. I guess that would explain it.
The defense may cross-examine the witness. Gladly. Once again, this is so obvious. Like, you know, the obvious part is you know what you have to present, which is... Which is the thinker. Because it's stated as the statue, right? But it's the problem is... I think this is... That must have been what I saw. Now find the... Oh wait, that was it? My bad. I skipped through it. Actually, I didn't hear... There was a table clock. I think it's this one where you go... Boom. There we go. Wait just a moment. The murder weapon wasn't a clock. It was this statue. Now, how is this supposed to be a clock? You, with your objections and your evidence, just who do you think you are? Just answer the question, Mr. Sawyer. Hey, I saw it there, okay? That's a clock. Your Honor, if I may. Yes, Mr. Payne. As the witness stated, this statue is indeed a clock. The neck is a switch. You just tilt it and it says the time out loud. As it doesn't look like a clock, I submitted it as a statue. My apologies. I see. So the murder weapon was a table clock after all. Well, Mr. Wright, it appears that the witness's testimony was correct. That this is a clock. Do you have any problems with this testimony now? Yes. Your Honor, there is a gaping hole in the witness's testimony. The only way he could have known the weapon was a clock is to hold it in his hand. Yet, the witness testified that he never entered the apartment. Clearly a contradiction. Indeed. Thank you, Judge. You're so slow. The witness knew it was a clock because he went into the apartment. You're lying. You were inside the apartment on the day of the murder. Oh, yeah? Prove it. Prove I went in there. I'll do better than that. I can prove you were the one who killed her. You struck her with the clock, and the shock of the blow triggered the clock's voice. That was the sound you heard.
Oh, this is turning really interesting. Where's my popcorn?
Order in the court. Intriguing. Please continue, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Sawyer, the sound must have left quite an impression on you. Understandable, since the murder weapon spoke just as you hit the victim. That voice was burned into your mind. That's why you were so certain about the time. What's the meaning of this? This is all baseless conjecture. Baseless? Just look at the witness's face. Would the witness care to elaborate? I'm just gonna give up on the noises. I'll just read the lines, not the voice, the noises. Did you strike the victim with the clock? That day, I never... Look, the clock, I had... No, I mean, I saw... That noise. I knew that was coming up. I didn't want to do that noise. Shut up. I hate you. It was him, I tell you. I saw him. He killed her, and he should burn. Give him death.
Oh, I didn't know he was bald.
Order in the court, I say. Your Honor, a moment, please. There isn't a shred of evidence supporting the defense's claims. Mr. Wright, Your Honor, you claim the sound the witness heard came from the clock. Do you have any evidence? The whole case is riding on this. I better think it through carefully. Your Honor. Why is my nose so itchy? The sound Mr. Sawyer heard was definitely this clock. A fact which is clear if you simply... Let's sound the clock now, here in this court. Your Honor, may I have the clock? I ask the court to listen very carefully. I think...
It's 8:25.
That certainly is a strange way to announce the time. Well, he is the thinker after all. So, we've heard the clock. What are your conclusions, Mr. Wright? Mr. Payne, can you tell me what time it is now? It's 11:25. Ah! Oh wait, that's a noise. I said I wasn't going to do a noise, I'm sorry. As you can see, this clock is exactly 3 hours slow. Precisely the discrepancy between what Mr. Sword heard and the actual time of death. So, Mr. Sword, try to talk your way out of this one. You forgot one thing. What's he talking about? While it may seem like that clock is running 3 hours slow, it proves nothing. How do you know it was running 3 hours slow on the day of the murder? If you can't prove that, you don't have a case. Oh, he's right. How am I going to prove that? Damn it, I was so close. Mr. Wright, it seems you lack the critical evidence to support your claim. Yes, Your Honor. My throat. This means I cannot let you indict the witness. Unfortunately, this ends the cross-examination of Mr. Frank Sword. I come all this way down here to testify, and look what happens. You treat me like a criminal. A criminal! You lawyers are all slime. I almost had him. Sorry, Larry. I failed you. There's nothing I can do about it now. Not so fast, Mr. Sword. Chief. Listen up, Wright. Don't throw this one away. Not like this. Think. But, Chief, it's over. I can't prove the clock was slow on the day of the murder. Nobody can prove that. Well, yes. But that doesn't mean you can't still win. Try thinking out of the box. Don't waste time doubting the facts. Assume the clock was 3 hours slow and think through it. Ask yourself, why was the clock 3 hours slow? Figure out the reason and you'll have your proof. Right? Can you think of a reason to why the clock would be 3 hours slow? Yes? Wait! Maybe I can prove it. You must have evidence somewhere that can prove it, right? Find it and let them have it. Well, Mr. Wright, you say the clock was already running slow on the day of the murder. Have you found evidence to support this claim? Of course. There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can prove my claim beyond a doubt. Ha! Tough words. Let's see you pull this one off. Let's see this evidence that proves why the clock was running slow. For the video's sake, I'm going to have about 3 seconds for you guys to try and figure out what piece of evidence, it's a 1 in 5 chance, that proves that the clock was running slow. Including the clock itself. So, 3, 2, 1. Thank you. I hope you wrote it in the comments, because now I'm going to tell you the answer. It's the passport. The victim had just returned home from abroad the day before the murder. As we all know, the time difference between here and Paris is 9 hours. When it's 4 p.m. there, it's 1 a.m. when it's 4 p.m. here, it's 1 a.m. the next day there. The clock wasn't 3 hours slow, it was 9 hours fast. The victim hadn't reset her clock since returning home. That's why the time you heard when you struck her dead in her apartment was wrong. Proof enough for you, Mr. Saw It? Or should I say, Mr. Did It?
Oh, wait, he's pouring in the mouth. Is it alright?
Order, I say. Well, this case has certainly turned out differently than we all expected. Mr. Payne, your witness? He was arrested and has been taken away, Your Honor. Very well. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I have to say, I'm impressed. I don't think I've ever seen someone complete a defense so quickly and find the true culprit at the same time. Thank you, Your Honor. At this point, this is only a formality, but this court finds the defendant, Mr. Larry Botts, and with that, this court is adjourned. It turns out that Frank saw it was a common burglar. He posed as a newspaper salesman to check and see when people were out of the house. That day, when Larry went to her apartment, the victim wasn't home. After he left, Mr. Sawyer let himself in to do his dirty work. While he was searching her place, the victim returned. Flustered, Mr. Sawyer grabbed the nearest blunt object that he could find and bopped her in the head. August 3, 2:32 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, Number 2. Oh, I still can't believe we won. Right. Good job in there. Congratulations. Thanks, Chief. I owe it all to you. Not at all, not at all. You fought your own battles in there. It's been a while since I've seen a trial end on such a satisfying note. I've never seen the Chief looking this happy. If she's this glad, imagine how Larry must feel. My life is over! Larry, you're supposed to be happy. What's wrong now? Oh, Nick. Don't worry about me. I'll be dead and gone soon. Good. Wait, no. I mean, bad. Larry, you're innocent. The case is closed. But my Cindy Windy's gone, man. Gone forever. Larry, she was... Never mind. Congratulations, Harry. Harry? Yes, you. I can practically see the headlines now. Harry Butts, innocent. Thanks. I really owe you one. I won't forget this, ever. I have a call from Sydney, but it looks like the number that has a fake recording all the time. Well, it is a recording, it's not fake. I won't forget this ever. Let's celebrate. Dinner? Movie? My treat. Oh no, I couldn't. Hey, I was the one who got you off the hook. Oh, hey. Here, take this. It's a present. A present? For me? Wait, wasn't this the evidence that... Actually, I made this clock for her. I made one for her and one for me. Really? You made this? Well, thank you. I'll keep it as a memento. Yo, Nick. Can you believe it? I was so into that chick. And she was just playing me for a fool. Don't that make you just want to cry? Larry. Are you so sure? Squeeze me? I think she thought quite a lot of you. In her own way. Now you don't gotta sympathize with me, Skoke. Oh, I'm not just sympathizing, really. Isn't that right, Wright? Don't you have something to show your friend? Something that proves how she felt about him? Huh? Oh, yeah, right. What the heck is she talking about? It's the statue. Check this out, Larry. Proof positive you weren't just some chump to her. Huh? What about that clock? This is the clock you made for her, Larry. And she took it with her when she traveled. Whatever, she probably just needed a clock, that's all. You think so? It's a pretty heavy clock to take traveling. Well, make of it what you will. Hey, Nick. I'm glad I asked you to be my lawyer. Really, I am, thanks. Hope that made him feel a little better. Right? I hope you see the importance of evidence now. Also, hopefully you realize things change depending on how you look at them. People, too. We never really know if our clients are guilty or innocent. All we can do is believe in them. And in order to believe in them, you have to believe in yourself. Right? Listen, learn, grow strong. Never let go of what you believe in. Never. Well, I think our work here is done. Shall we be off? Yeah, I guess so. So how about dinner? On me? We'll drink a toast to innocent butts. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Harry, you were saying part of why you became a lawyer was because of him. Yeah, part at least. You'll have to tell me more about it sometime. Maybe over drinks? And so, my first trial came to a close. Larry slapped me on the back and said, "Gee, Nick, it's good to have friends." But I'm pretty sure he's not going to pay us. Unless you count the clock he gave Mia. My hair is itchy. My head is itchy. I didn't know it then. But that clock was soon going to be at the center of another incident. And my promise to tell the chief about me and Larry would be one promise that I wouldn't be able to keep. And there you have it! Tutorial part 1 is done! Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, even though this is my second time in 24 hours playing it. It's still so entertaining to play. If you enjoyed the video, please give the video a like, subscribe, write me a comment. Tell me if you got the. I mean, you can even tell me if you got the guess right about the passport. You know, because that was like the key moment in the case. You know, so if you had 200 IQ, just tell me in the comments. But for now, have a good one. I'll see you in the next video, which is
Probably going to be the second video that I'm recording straight after this one.
okay. Bye.